Hello, welcome to another interesting aspect of News Express. There is a conversation many people avoid having because it makes them uncomfortable. It is easier to talk about infidelity when pointing fingers at the person who eventually cheats than to honestly examine what happens inside some marriages long before that betrayal occurs. Many people assume that the first sign of an affair is a suspicious phone call, a hidden text message, or a sudden change in routine. No, but sometimes the warning signs begin much earlier. Sometimes they start when emotional connection disappears from a marriage. Now, they begin when affection dries up, compliments become rare, conversations become mechanical, and intimacy becomes something one partner occasionally says while the other repeatedly rejects for reasons never can tell. Marriage is not sustained by legal documents alone. It is sustained by attention, affection, appreciation, respect, and emotional connection. When these things disappear for a prolonged period, cracks begin to form. Yeah. One woman recently shared a painful experience about her late husband. According to her, she spent years feeling invincible in her own marriage. Whenever she attempted to initiate intimacy, she was rejected. Whenever she tried to get close, she was pushed away. Instead of feeling desired by the man she had committed her life to, she felt unwanted. The emotional damage became so severe that she began questioning her own worth. She wondered whether she was attractive enough. She wondered whether she was desirable enough. She wondered if she was just enough. She wondered whether she was somehow failing as a wife. Then something happened that changed her perspective forever. After her husband's death, she eventually became involved with another man. For the first time in years, she experienced appreciation, compliments, affection, attention, endearing words. She discovered that the problem had never been her appearance. The problem was that she had spent years trying to receive love from someone who had stopped giving it. Her story may make some people uncomfortable, yeah, but it raises an important question though. How many marriages are quietly suffering because one partner has emotionally checked out while the other is left feeling neglected, rejected? Another woman shared a similar story. According to her, intimacy in her marriage effectively ended after the birth of their last child. Years passed without meaningful affection from her husband. While she struggled emotionally, she later discovered that he was actively pursuing other women online. Interesting. Like many wives in similar situations, she initially blamed herself. She tried changing her appearance, look good, feel good. She tried dressing differently. She tried becoming more attractive in the hope that it would revive her husband's interest. Nothing changed. Instead, she became emotionally exhausted. Then she reconnected with an old friend. What began as conversation gradually developed into something deeper. She described the experience as a reminder that she was still a woman deserving of attention, affection, and emotional connection. Eventually, her husband discovered the relationship and threw her out of the house. That was expected. Many people immediately condemned her actions. Yet, the bigger question remains: what created the environment that made such a relationship possible in the first place? This is not an attempt to justify infidelity. No, it's not. Cheating is still cheating. Betrayal is still betrayal. Wrong remains wrong. However, it is equally wrong to ignore the realities that often precede these decisions. Now, let me tell you, many marriages do not collapse overnight. No, they erode gradually. They weaken through years of neglect, indifference, emotional abandonment, and unresolved resentment. Some husbands make the dangerous mistake of assuming that once a woman becomes their wife, her emotional needs automatically disappear. They assume loyalty requires no maintenance. They assume commitment requires no effort. They assume a wedding ring guarantees permanent devotion regardless of how they treat their spouse. Very wrong. Reality is often very different, very different. Women need attention. Women need appreciation. Women need emotional connection. Women need to feel desired. Women need to feel seen. The same is true for men, yeah? Human beings are emotional creatures. When someone repeatedly feels ignored, rejected, and unappreciated, emotional vulnerability begins to grow. That vulnerability can become dangerous when another person enters the picture, offering exactly what has been missing. One divorced woman described the irony of her situation perfectly. After her marriage ended, she returned to collect her belongings from the home she once shared with her husband. She arrived with a male colleague who had volunteered his truck to help move her things. As she packed, her former husband repeatedly suggested that she must already have another man in her life. Funny, right? The irony was difficult to ignore, though. This was the same husband who had left her for another woman, yet the possibility that she had moved on appeared to bother him deeply. That is understood. Perhaps that reaction reveals a truth many people struggle to accept. No one truly owns another human being. Marriage is a commitment, not a possession. Loyalty thrives where love, respect, and efforts are continually invested. Now, the lesson here is not that people should abandon their marriages when challenges arise. No, no, no. Every marriage faces seasons of difficulty. Every relationship requires patience, forgiveness, and communication. The lesson is that emotional neglect has consequences. A spouse who consistently rejects affection, ignores emotional needs, withholds appreciation, and takes their partner for granted may eventually discover that the damage extends far beyond hurt feelings. By then, the marriage may already be standing on a foundation weakened by years of neglect. Healthy marriages are not built on fear, control, or obligation. They are built on daily acts of love, kindness, respect, and attention. The strongest protection against outside temptation is not surveillance, suspicion, or jealousy. It is creating a relationship where both partners feel genuinely valued. Because when people feel loved, appreciated, and respected at home, they are far less likely to search for those things elsewhere. And when they no longer feel those things, the risk to the marriage grows significantly. The question every husband and wife should ask themselves today is simple. Is my partner merely staying, or are they truly striving in this relationship? The answer may reveal more about the health of a marriage than any phone record, any text message, or social media account could ever. I hope you enjoyed this segment. Thank you so much for being with us. My name is Emerald Unofe. See you again sometime. Bye.